Welcome back. Investigating the origins of the Russia probe, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham revealed a key player is set to testify in regards to the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Watch.
The day of reckoning is upon us when it comes to Crossfire Hurricane. James Comey has agreed to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee on September the 30th without a subpoena. I appreciate Mr. Comey coming before the committee. He will be respectfully treated but ask hard questions. We're negotiating with McCabe. Mr. McCabe, we're hoping to get him without a subpoena.
Former special counsel Robert Mueller declined an invitation to go testify. Meanwhile, a Senate Homeland Security panel approved nearly 40 subpoenas to Obama-era officials in their investigation into the Russia probe. Joining me right now is Georgia Congressman, member of the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to get into your note to Apple CEO to discuss all those phones getting wiped clean. But first, let's talk about what's going to happen in your committee when Jim Comey testifies on September 30th, according to Lindsey Graham. What might we learn from these other outreaches to Obama-era officials?
Well, I hope for the first time we'll start learning, Maria, and we've been talking about this forever, but hopefully they'll start telling the truth. And they can't hide behind the things that we don't know anymore. Remember how long that we used to have to go and we had to peel away, we had to find little bits of evidence. We found the text messages, we used the transcripts, but we kept pushing knowing something was there, but yet every time Comey and many of these others wanted to get in front of folks, they would be able to hide behind things we didn't know. Now we know, and through Klein-Smith indictment and virtual guilty plea, we see the wall being torn down. We see that they were actually targeting the president as a candidate. We see that in the White House, Comey himself bragging about using the transition to get at the administration through General Flynn. And General Flynn has been one of the most mistreated people in this entire investigation. So we're seeing this now. So now Comey can't hide behind the things that only he knows. Now we have a lot more information. So hopefully he'll come up and tell the truth for a change.
Well, I mean, it just seems like this is taking quite a long time. We know that there was illegal leaking going on to the press. We know that they knew the dossier was garbage, and yet they used it to re-up warrants to spy on the Trump campaign. And we also know that there were some lying going on to Congress. So how come we haven't seen indictments beyond, or guilty pleas beyond Kevin Klein-Smith, who altered a document and used it as evidence against Carter Page?
Maria, that's a great question because we've been pushing for this a while. I would love to see Durham, and I've never wanted to see a Durham report. I want to see Durham indictments, and I believe there's more coming. But what is also, I'm glad to finally see the Senate is issuing these subpoenas. I'm glad to finally see these hearings are taking place. I'll be honest, I would have loved to have seen them earlier because we knew this stuff was coming out, and now it's taken to September to get them. But now we have them. Let's get the truth to the American people because you're right. Every time we've peeled back the onion, every time I've been on your show and many other shows, and we talked about it in the left and the mainstream media would make fun of us saying, you're just on a wild goose chase trying to protect the president. Everything we've talked about has turned out to be true. So it's time for them now, it's time for the Senate, who has that subpoena power, to get them under oath, to get them in here. And then when they've lied, where they've signed off on documents, where they verified it was true without verifying, it's time to hold them accountable, and Attorney General Barr needs to do that.
Congressman, and then there is obstruction of justice. So we got the latest numbers to show that Robert Mueller's staff turned in 27 government smartphones that were wiped of all their data. You are pressing technology giant Apple for information on this. You sent a letter to Tim Cook. Tell us about that.
Well, this is unbelievable, Maria. Think about this group. They're some of the most arrogant people that ever we worked with in the Mueller investigation, who were partisan hacks, who went after this president, who portrayed themselves as some of the smartest lawyers in DOJ. How are they so stupid not to know how to work a phone? Well, the truth is they know how to work a phone. What I want to know is what were they hiding on those phones? Because it takes over 3 hours almost if you take a regular phone, Apple phone, and set it to wipe your memory clean by missing your passcode or missing your login code. And you're telling me they use these phones for well over a year or longer? They all of a sudden had an amnesia moment when it was time to turn them in? No, they didn't have an amnesia moment. They're hiding from the American people, and I want to know what they were hiding when they were turning those phones back in. This is a cover-up. It's a huge cover-up. Hopefully Apple will help us. If not, I'm going to call on Attorney General Barr to use every forensic tool they have to get at what was on those phones, because there's a reason. They think the American people are stupid. We're finding out that they're the ones that believe people are stupid because they acted stupid.
Well, I mean, what happened to the cloud? I thought everything was in the cloud. So how is it possible that you can just wipe a phone and everything goes away? And they did this after we saw that Lisa Page and Peter Strzok had been texting all this hate Trump texting back and forth. So they didn't want their text to come public.
Well, that's exactly why we're looking into this. And I think they thought they were just going to be, as we have a saying down part of my way, you'd be too cute by half. I think they were just being too cute by half. They said, oh, we'll just, we'll do this way and it'll be swiped and nobody will ever worry about it. For those of us up here who have been trying to get to the truth at the attacks on this president, attacks on this candidate, and a Mueller investigation that we had called for while the Senate and others were saying protect Mueller, we were saying Mueller should have never took place to start with because it was started on a faulty premise. So they're just continuing this field of view that they only wanted to get the president. Now they want to wash their hands of it and be cleared of it. I want them found to be set down and say, what did you do and what was on these phones? And if Apple can do that, let's let Apple do that.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching, and you've been seeing on the side of your screen a look at my new book. My new book is coming out next month. Chapter 2 is called The Coup That Failed. So all of this in my upcoming book in October. Congressman Doug Collins, it's great to see you this morning. Thank you, sir. We will see you soon.
Take care.